Hello, SRJC. I would like to welcome Santa Rosa Junior College students along with Petaluma Junior College students. Thank you for joining us today for our Santa Rosa Earth Day Festival. I would like to thank Associated Student Senate and Students for Sustainable Communities for being the two major pillars to put this festival together. Thank you very much. So one of the things that makes this festival more historical than other festivals that we have had in the past, where we had our first Earth Day last year, is the signing of a Declaration of Sustainability, of which I have the honor to introduce, and this panel has the honor to address to all of you today. In 2005, the United Nations General Assembly declared a decade of education for sustainable development. All around the world, institutions of higher education are recognizing their responsibility to address issues of sustainability and foster in their students the skills in order that they may become environmentally responsible citizens. Today marks a historical and significant time for Santa Rosa Junior College District with the signing of the Talloires Declaration. I have the pleasure of introducing this panel of esteemed colleagues who value sustainability. Katie Gerber, co-chair of the Earth and Science Department. Tai Benoit, who is the Dean of Humanities and Arts and Communication, Social Science. Tony Ishan, the Dean of Facilities and Planning. And our very own and beloved President and Superintendent, Dr. Robert Agrella. So first off, I would like to kick off and talk about, as a student, why is it important for students to be so excited about the signing of the Talloires Declaration? First of all, let me begin with the process of this project. We started, Katie and myself and Jay Macedo, who's out there in the audience, as three pillars, trying to bring and figure out how could we bring sustainability to an institution of higher education, such as our community college. What are the first steps? How could we develop a sustainability management plan? And through our research, we found that a declaration of sustainability is one of the first steps to take in order to make sustainability a value of our junior college. So through our work and research, we found that the Talloires Declaration is the best fit for Santa Rosa Junior College, where it's an internationally accredited document that has been thus far signed by over 400 community college, UC, and CSU leaders all around the world since 1990. Now, it's the power that students have in order to bring sustainability to our colleges, in order to make our college and our community aware that what we want, and of the power that we have by using our voices. I wasn't aware of the process of bringing a declaration, our value, into the college until I brought this through, where we went through a very amazing journey to bring this to the faculty, to bring this to the facility, to bring this to the staff, to bring this to the alumni, to bring this to the student body, of educating them. Why do we need a sustainability declaration? And really the core value all comes down to that in order for students who are pushing for their colleges to become more sustainable, sustainability has to be recognized by the junior college. It has to be stamped. It has to become a value. So when students for sustainable communities and other students who are impassioned and powerful and enraged and want to see their college develop more sustainable principles and practices, when they leave, their passions leave with them. So how can we stamp something and make something permanent so that the college, when the students leave, it's always going to be there for the students to come? And that's really why I drove so hard. I spent many months with Katie Gerber and Jay to figure out how we could bring this together, working with Dr. Agrella, working with key faculty members and getting their support and getting all their favor and all the unanimous support. So after 3 months of work to bring this to the junior college, after seeing over 13 committees in this community college, we have unanimous support. So with that understanding of why as a student I pressed so hard and why I believe this isn't so important, I would now like to bring Katie Gerber, my co-partner, up.
Hi, good afternoon, and thanks everyone for being here today. We really appreciate it. Again, my name is Katie Gerber, and I'm the Department Chair of the Earth and Space Sciences Department. I'm an environmental science teacher here at SRJC, and I'm also co-chair of the Institution for Environmental Education and also the Integrated Environmental Planning Committee here on campus. So I'm really involved in environmental issues. As a faculty member and also as an environmental science instructor, I really applaud the work that SRJC has done towards environmental initiatives. Every semester I take my environmental science classes kind of on a campus swap, a green campus tour, and really highlight some of the things that we've done. And I'm always amazed how surprised the students are. They generally are surprised, but then they're also a little bit proud of what we have done. SRJC does have a long environmental history. We've aggressively worked to reduce our utility usage and energy usage at our facilities. We've integrated green building techniques into the buildings like the Doyle Library and of course the Bertolini Student Center. We've established an environmental planning initiative, so that is one of our institutional goals. However, that doesn't mean we're done, and it doesn't mean we get to rest on our laurels. We always have to continue to move forward. To me, signing on to the Talloires Declaration is a statement for SRJC that really formalizes our commitment to continue what we're doing, but also it provides us a framework to expand what we're doing and to move forward with new initiatives. We are already taking action. Jessica and I will read the Talloires Declaration in a little bit, but number 4 is foster environmental literacy. We have developed classes and programs like those in natural resource management and sustainable ag. We have an environmental studies major here at SRJC. We have classes in solar photovoltaics and also the alternative fuels program in the trade technology department. Number 5, practice institutional ecology. Well, we're doing that. That includes resource conservation, recycling, environmentally sound operations. The thing about the Talloires, this declaration does give us flexibility to implement the actions, and there are 10 actions in our way, so we can figure out what works best for here as SRJC. This is also an opportunity for us to collaborate with the various entities that are already doing work with sustainability here at SRJC. Jessica's kind of mentioned some, but facilities, the Integrated Environmental Planning Committee, IEE, the Sustainability Task Force at Petaluma, and also the Students for Sustainable Communities. Signing the declaration really solidifies SRJC's commitment. It tells us, it tells our students, it tells the community, and even the world that SRJC values sustainability. But signing the declaration is really only the first step. We need to move forward with implementing a sustainability management plan. That's something that's already called for in the charter of the IEPC. We need to establish kind of a baseline of where we are, and then we also need to kind of set goals of where we want to move so that we can move towards sustainability in a carbon neutral campus. You know, one thing we're not as good at is we really need to advertise more about what we're doing. And, you know, we don't always let everybody know, the students know all the great things that we've done in the past. I am happy to say that that is in the works, and later this year SRJC will be launching Sustainable SRJC website, and it is a collaborative project between facilities, student services, faculty, career technical education, and the public relations office. So that's really a good first step in letting people know about what we do. I would like to thank a few people here for allowing us to get here today. And first of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Agrella for believing in Jessica and actually allowing us to kind of move forward with this project and suggesting that we get buy-in from all these various entities. He was willing to sign the declaration, but he said that's not how we do it here at SRJC. We don't just do this kind of top-down management. We need to get the buy-in from all the different entities, and that process has been a learning experience for both Jessica and I, so very, very important. I would also like to thank Jessica, because I didn't know Jessica very well before this year. We're both participating in the Leadership Institute for Ecology and Economy, and this is actually part of our project and also our co-project person. But I have really become inspired by Jessica, and she amazes me constantly. She doesn't tire, she never gives up, she keeps on going no matter what, and I do know that she will go very far. In addition, I'd actually like to thank the other members of our Leadership Project group, in particular Jay Macedo, who is here. He's a fellow member of our project, and he is a community member, and kind of jumped onto the project here with us. And when this project started ramping up, Jay was willing to kind of grab on and hold on during that wild ride, because the months of January, February, and March were a lot of meetings and a lot of stuff that was moving very quickly. But one of the things that I really appreciated Jay for was he was really a calming force within our group, and his positive energy actually went a long way for kind of calming both Jessica and I down. And then I'd also like to thank a former member of our group, Curtis Bird from the Gray Foundation. One of the things that Curtis brought to this project was he continually reminded us that we needed to be realistic about our goals and the project itself. And Jessica and I have a lot of ambitious goals for SRJC, but he saw that we really fundamentally needed to focus on one particular goal for this project. And it is him that we have to thank for identifying the Talloires Declaration as the right fit for SRJC. I do look forward to what comes next, the development of a sustainability management plan, and I am proud that SRJC will be the 5th community college here in California that will be signing on to the Talloires Declaration. Thank you. So, I would actually like to introduce Ty Benoit next. Ty is the Dean of Arts, Humanity, Behavioral and Social Sciences. It's a very long title. She came to SRJC in 2007 from Butte College, and Butte was one of the early signers of the Talloires Declaration, and she has some experience with how they implemented their programs. So, welcome, Ty.
Good afternoon. Welcome to all the students and to Dr. Agrella and the student leaders and to Jessica's parents. You have done an outstanding job with this young woman. When I woke up this morning, I thought this is truly a momentous day for SRJC, because as Jessica and Katie have pointed out, this leaves an imprint, this leaves a footprint. And as the dean of a large contingent on campus, ever since I've come here, I've been interested in trying to foster sustainability. And like they've said, we have a great start. We are just poised to really take off. And I think what I want to remind you of, I taught history for 30 years, is the origins of Earth Day and how many of you know how this day was created. I was about Jessica's age in 1970, wasn't yet 21, so I couldn't vote. Back in those days, if you were 18, you didn't get the vote. The amendment to the Constitution hadn't been passed. But what inspired me was the fact that 2 congresspeople, a senator from California, a gentleman by the name of Pete McCloskey, and a Democrat from the state of Wisconsin, came together. And we don't see too much of that these days. We don't have those role models where people in Congress or at the state level are working together. But what we can create here at SRJC is a truly incredible model, because we work together. We work to help each other out, and we work to create a more sustainable future. So, thank you so much to Jessica. She has been the spark that has brought all this to fruition. And thanks especially to Dr. Agrella for coming out and signing this. I want to focus on just one aspect of the Talloires Declaration, and that is the principle that says that we try to create an institutional culture of sustainability. And I want you to just take a minute and imagine what that's going to look like next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. when a lot of you are gone. You're no longer students here. Jessica's not here. Dr. Agrella will hopefully be allowed to retire at some point. And what we've got is a situation where, how do we do that? And here's where I'm going to offer a little bit of advice. We can do that on a personal level. We all make decisions every day. And then we can also do it on an institutional level, where we ask ourselves, every time we make a decision, how does this create a culture of sustainability? And sustainability is such a broad topic. So it might be in relation to the buildings or the recycling program or all the various things that we've been doing, but I think we need to go further. I think we really need to think about our curriculum, and as the dean, I'm constantly reminding people who are in my area, how do we do that? What do we do with our pedagogy? What can you students do in terms of, let's say, encouraging folks, and this means your faculty, to print and publish and do those kinds of things in a meaningful way. Making sure that when things are sent to you through the portal, that you don't necessarily print needlessly, that you think about ways that we can create that kind of an environment. And as Katie pointed out, we already have a great environmental plan. We've got to take that a step further. We've got to work on some of those kinds of things. So let me give you a couple of examples related just to paper, and some of the faculty have gone to clicker technology, where they give quizzes and exams in a very different format, and again, it cuts down on some of that paper use. What about, let me give you another example, and this relates to my own family. My son and his fiancée at this point in time returned to SRJC in 2007 after doing a study abroad program in Costa Rica. And if you've ever been to Costa Rica, you know that there's not a culture that's more sustainable than Costa Rica. They're constantly working on this. When they came back, they had done a study abroad specifically in sustainability. They'd lived in sustainable communities, they'd learned Spanish, they had done a number of things. And when they returned to SRJC, and this was a program that was offered by another community college, wasn't here, when they came back here, they wanted to take every course they could possibly take in sustainability practices, and they wanted to see it heavily involved in their curriculum. So they signed up for Katie's class. They signed up for a lot of classes that automatically gave them that clue. But what would have been really great is if they could have seen that a theme in an English class or a theme in a history class is devoted to sustainability. So how do we identify those types of courses and make that easy for students to access? What do we do when we hire people? Do we ask them, how would you create a culture of sustainability in your office, in your classroom? All of those places. I think these are things that we've got to examine as an institution. And so, in closing, I'd like to say thank you to all the people who have gone before us, especially thank you to Jessica for putting this forward to us. And let's all think, you know, the Earth Day theme this year is 1 billion acts of green. If you haven't been on the National Earth Day site, I encourage you to do that. What can you put there as your personal act of green, and perhaps our institutional act of green? So let's make it a beautiful future for SRJC. And at this point, I'd like to introduce Tony Ixan, who's the Dean of Facilities Operations and Planning.
Okay, so a funny thing happened to me on the way over here. If all of you are aware of Heritage Plaza, which is being redone right now, somebody came up to me and asked, what was that awful smell? And so I told him, that was green at work. And thus, you know, is a perfect example of some of the things that we are actually doing here. So welcome all to this momentous signing. That was just one example of the items that we're doing. Everything from Capri Creek Restoration down in Petaluma to the 255 kW photovoltaics at Public Safety Training Center to Sustainable Ag at Schoen Farm. There's numerous items that we're doing. And one of the difficulty was trying to capture and create a coordinated effort. So thanks to Dr. Agrella's guidance and impetus on various folks, including the IEE, we were able to create a presidential advisory committee entitled Integrated Environmental Planning Committee. And what that committee does is actually try to make a coordinated effort of all our initiatives and various activities that are going on throughout the district. And we've been making a good job of it in the last couple of years. The committee consists of faculty, staff, management, students, of course, and it's a very, very enlightening effort to make sure that, that everything is all uniform as we're going forward. During the last couple of weeks building up to this, there were several folks that had asked me what Talloires was. And I know it would have been easy if it was something like Smithsville or, you know, Smallville or something like that to remember, but it's actually a small town in the French Alps. And I'll just read a little bit of some of the items that was focused on by IEE. And that's to create education training to our leaders on their responsibilities of creating an environmentally sustainable future. Sound familiar? Well, that's exactly one of the philosophies and main concept of the Talloires Declaration. So from there, we've actually already been doing many of the items that, that the Declaration has identified for us, but now we've actually created a roadmap for us. From our board members to Dr. Agrella to students, faculty, staff, everybody has embraced this philosophy, which is a very exciting item, but now we actually get the opportunity to put it in place. So what's next for us? One of our first steps in IEPC is to actually create a plan to implement the 10 action steps identified in the declaration, which will be read to you soon. What will the future bring for the JC? Don't know, we're all out of crystal balls right now, but one thing I can assure you though is that we'll continue to be a leader in sustainability and creating an environment that will continue on for generations to come. And with that, I'm proud to introduce one of the creators of this blueprint and master plan for sustainable, Dr. Agrella.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being here today. This is really a really great day. I want to thank everyone who's been involved in the development of this, but I think we all have to recognize, and I think deserves a very special applause, and that's to Jessica and Katie. When they visited me, one of the things that I said to Jessica, and I said to the board when the board approved this resolution or declaration as well, was that it's just too bad that Jessica doesn't have more enthusiasm about this entire project. But Jessica, I think she proved a couple things. And when we talk about sustainability, there's another aspect of sustainability that comes out in my mind with respect to this. And that is that sometimes students and faculty and staff and administrators may have some differences, but Jessica proved that we can come together and sustain ourselves in what we believe, and that we can work together in terms of a common denominator, and that's working towards this Talloires Declaration. So it gives me great, great pleasure. I can sign it now? Not yet? Okay, they're going to read it first, and then I can sign it.
All right.
This has been a long time coming, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got my pen ready.
We, the presidents, rectors, and vice chancellors of universities from all regions of the world, are deeply concerned about the unprecedented scale and speed of environmental pollution and degradation, and the depletion of natural resources. Local, regional, and global air and water pollution, accumulation and distribution of toxic wastes, destruction and depletion of forests, soil, and water, depletion of the ozone layer, and emission of greenhouse gases threaten the survival of humans and thousands of other living species, the integrity of the earth and its biodiversity, the security of nations, and the heritage of future generations. These environmental changes are caused by inequitable and unsustainable production and consumption patterns that aggravate poverty in many regions of the world.
We believe, try that again. There we go. We believe that urgent actions are needed. Let's try again. Okay. We believe that urgent actions are needed to address these fundamental problems and reverse the trends. Stabilization of human population, adoption of environmentally sound industrial and agricultural technologies, reforestation, and ecological restoration are crucial elements in creating an equitable and sustainable future for all humankind in harmony with nature. Universities have a major role in the education, research, policy formation, and information exchange necessary to make these goals possible. Thus, university leaders must initiate and support mobilization of internal and external resources so that their institutions respond to this urgent challenge. We therefore agree to take the following actions.
Number 1, increase awareness of environmentally sustainable development. Use every opportunity to raise public, government, industry, foundation, and university awareness by openly addressing the urgent need to move toward an environmentally sustainable future.
Create an institutional culture of sustainability. Encourage all universities to engage in education, research, policy formation, and information exchange on population, environment, and development to move towards global sustainability.
Number 3, educate for environmentally responsible citizenship. Establish programs to produce expertise in environmental management, sustainable economic development, population, and related fields to ensure that all university graduates are environmentally literate and have the awareness and understanding to be ecologically responsible citizens.
And number 4, foster environmental literacy for all. Create programs to develop the capability of university faculty to teach environmental literacy to all undergraduate, graduate, and professional students.
Number 5, practice institutional ecology. Set an example of environmental responsibility by establishing institutional ecology policies and practices of resource conservation, recycling, waste reduction, and environmentally sound operations.
Number 6, involve all stakeholders. Encourage involvement of government, foundations, and industry in supporting interdisciplinary research, education, policy formation, and information exchange in environmentally sustainable development. Expand work with community and non-governmental organizations to assist in finding solutions to environmental problems.
Number 7, collaborate for interdisciplinary approaches. Convene university faculty and administrators with environmental practitioners to develop interdisciplinary approaches to curricula, research initiatives, operations, and outreach activities that support an environmentally sustainable future.
Number 8, enhance capacity of primary and secondary schools. Establish partnerships with primary and secondary schools to help develop the capacity for interdisciplinary teaching about population, environment, and sustainable development.
Number 9, broaden service and outreach nationally and internationally. Work with national and international organizations to promote a worldwide university effort toward a sustainable future.
And last but not least, maintain the movement. Establish a secretariat and a steering committee to continue this momentum and to inform and support each other's efforts in carrying out this declaration. And now we'd like to have Dr. Rosa come up and sign the declaration. Go to the table, yes.
Are they done yet?
And now Santa Rosa Junior College District is the 5th community college in California to become a signatory. I would like to thank all of you for coming to see this, and I would like to thank the panel for coming out and making time in their day, in their busy days, to speak for us. And also I would like to invite you to come and eat yummy cupcakes or have yummy coffee from Thanksgiving Coffee and lovely fruit. And enjoy the festival, and we'll be having some music in a short while. Thank you very much.